Hey everyone, this is Hungry Monster. I visited America's finest city, San Diego, to try all their authentic food, from locally caught seafood at the waterfront, an exceptionally popular barbecue joint serving smoked ribs and colossal onion rings, to Little Italy's old school pizza. San Diego had so much to offer and was like heaven for a foodie like me. So I hope you enjoy my day one of this awesome food trip. We arrived in San Diego on a Friday morning. We were greeted by a bunch of palm trees telling us we're at the West Coast. The airport was very clean and we headed off to the rental car center as San Diego is not really a walkable city. Our first stop was Mitchs Seafood, a casual seafood restaurant at the waterfront located right in the center of the Point Loma fishing dock. They have breakfast menu and their lunch menu starts at 10:30. We arrived a little before 10:30, so we went off for a walk along the pier. The place was very casual, had a very authentic vibe as a seafood restaurant located right by the water, had some good music, and we were ready to try their fisherman stew and some fish tacos. During our walk, we noticed that this was a popular spot for all the fishing guys to gather and get ready for a whole day of fishing. There were guys with packs of Corona beer ready to enjoy their day out in the ocean. This is something definitely very new to me coming from the East Coast. We were seated at the outdoor bar top, which had an amazing view of the ocean and all the yachts. The place was starting to get full at around 10:30 when lunch menu starts.
Diggy, drop. He likes feathers.
We were starving and started off with the fried fish tacos. We really can't pass on fish tacos here in San Diego. They didn't specify which type of fish this was. The taco was overall pretty good. Nothing crazy. The tortilla was somewhere in between a hard shell and a soft shell. The fish was adequately fried and had some good salsa and their signature sour cream. We were more impressed by their fisherman stew. This was a really rich stew with an assortment of mussels, squid, fish, shrimp, with a touch of tomato in the soup base. It kind of reminded me of the seafood stew in Japan or Korea. They weren't going cheap with their seafood. They had lots of good chunks of seafood in there. And I also enjoyed it with some baguette that they gave. It was definitely on the salty side. I didn't really want to drink all the soup, but definitely a solid dish and something I would definitely try if you visit this place. Given all the fresh seafood that they're including, I thought the dish was reasonably priced. I think this is a great spot if you're around the area and if you want to get that San Diego feel authentic seafood with a great view of the ocean. That being said, I didn't feel any super unique kick to this place. Starting this episode, I wanted to implement a star review system, with 5-star being I absolutely would return to this place. I'd probably give this place a 3-star for their good authentic food and fresh seafood and amazing scenery, but a lack of uniqueness and taste. Next, we went for a relaxing coffee at James's Coffee in Little Italy. This is a local handcraft coffee brewery. They were located in this open modern garage space. They definitely had a very hip modern vibe. We got a double espresso shot over ice. I personally enjoy iced drinks over hot. The coffee was very aromatic, very crisp and refreshing, and didn't have any bitter aftertaste. The airport's close by, so you'll frequently hear the commercial airplanes flying over us. Overall, I really enjoyed the coffee and the venue. Before lunch, we wanted to digest ourselves a little bit and went to visit the Balboa Park. This seemed to be a huge park with lots of museums and places for people to relax. I really enjoyed the Spanish architecture. Briefly made me think I was in Europe. We visited the Museum of Us, which was founded in 1915, showcasing lots of anthropological exhibits, mostly focusing on the indigenous population. With a one-time payment, you can get a free entrance to the museum all year around. Next, we finally arrived at Phil's BBQ, a nationally renowned barbecue joint in Mission Hill. They seem to pride themselves in being the second most reviewed business on Yelp. They also had over 10,000 reviews on Google, and we were extremely excited to try this place. Just as we started to approach the venue, we were noticing a lot of very aromatic smoked scent, which is already mouthwatering. They are known to have a wait time of close to 1 hour at their peak hours, so we chose to stop by at an odd hour of the day. We wanted to get the most classic dish and went with the half-rib dinner with 2 sides, including french fries and coleslaw, an additional sausage link, and their signature IPA. The place was packed, was very well managed, and had lots of positive and appetizing energy. The IPA was amazing, was super crisp, and I was so ready for my barbecue. This is their half rib plate. You can see some of the smoke on the ribs. We asked for the sauce on the side. There were generous portions of french fries and coleslaw. We started to dig in and was so impressed by the ribs, already mouth-watering as I'm recording this. First of all, the meat texture is super soft and very moist. I've had barbecues where the meat was super dry. Second, the smoked scent was amazing. I could tell they're using some amazing charcoal, and I really think Southern style barbecue should have a true smoked scent to it. Each rib had lots of meat on it, so it was also very filling. The sausage was good. I thought the ribs were better. The french fries are solid, and the coleslaw was very refreshing, not too sweet. A perfect pair for your ribs. It's really hard to eat in moderation when you're on a food trip, since you never know when you're going to go back. I was so impressed by the plate that I went back and ordered another half rib plate, and this time with their signature onion ring. They're called the colossal onion rings for their amazing size. Their dough is very chewy and very savory. It's very crispy, and the ranch sauce goes really well. We thought it tasted like the sour cream and onion Lay's potato chips, and this was hands down the best onion rings we've ever had. This time I added their beef rib, and I was blown away by this as well. The beef rib has a much chewier texture than the pork, although I do think the pork does a better job absorbing the smoke. With a couple of these beef ribs, I'm sure you're gonna get full. From then on, I just kept going. I just enjoyed every bit of the ribs and all the sides. I think this is pure happiness. I would definitely give this place a 5-star where I would absolutely return, and I would probably return to San Diego just because of this. Our favorite ice cream spot on the West Coast is hands down Salt and Straw. They have a few locations, and we went to the one in the La Jolla Westfield Mall. Just as we entered, the shop was full of amazing waffle cone smell. We got their classic lavender and the salted caramel, which we think are the two best flavors there.
Single slit scoop with lavender and salted caramel. Please.
As always, their ice cream was super crisp and fresh. It's not too sweet. The salted caramel is unique in that the caramel is not completely mixed in with the ice cream and has its own identity, whereas the honey lavender is very subtle and has a truly aromatic scent. Both flavors have a very crisp aftertaste.
What flavor? What's flavor?
Salted caramel. Wow.
Salted caramel
And lavender. We're always wondering if they would ever come to the East Coast. I think they have a location in Florida, but I guess the wintry weather of the Northeast is probably not attractive for their market expansion. Next, we went to Little Italy's famous Fillipis Pizza Grotto. I'll have more coverage on Little Italy on my subsequent videos, but Little Italy seemed to be the prime spot for fine dining in the San Diego downtown area. As you enter the restaurant, you'll first see a really authentic Italian supermarket. This was actually the origin of the restaurant back in 1950s when Vincent de Fillipis from New York opened this place. Contrary to our concern, this place had no line for dinner today.
Hi, for two?
Give me just 1 second, okay?
Yep.
And we were seated immediately at a nearby booth.
I can take you guys right this way.
As we went in, we saw multiple pizzaiolos in many ovens, busily baking pizzas, lasagnas, and meatballs. I really liked the vibe here. It was pretty authentic, pretty down to earth, unlike some of the nearby showy restaurants in the district. I was really torn what to order. I really wanted the pizza, but their spaghettis and meatballs looked amazing as well. But their main dish seemed to be the pizza, and we were kind of full. So we went with the Works pizza, which came only in one size to be shared by 2 to 3 people. I started off with a draft pepperoni, Italian style. On the way to the restroom, I saw many pizza pies coming out. They looked so good and so aromatic. Further inside, there were lots of tables for bigger families, really reminding you of the authentic Italian feel. We had to wait for a good 15-ish minutes and the pizza came out. This is not your New York style thin pizza. This has a relatively thick, soft layer of dough. There is an option to make the crust thinner, but I wanted to eat it their style. The most impressive was their cheese. It had a very elastic texture and a sense of purity and brilliance. In fact, their website is called realcheese.com. And for some reason, it was just not greasy. It had a very refreshing, soft texture to it. We didn't see any of the greasy orange fat that would sometimes drip down when you fold the pizza. The dough, even though thick, was also pretty refreshing, very easy to digest. And it was pretty soft, so it was very easy on my jaw. The works includes pepperoni, sausage, mushroom, and onions. This is their classic pizza. They do have the quote-unquote special pizza that also adds meatballs, olives, and green peppers, which also might have been a good option, but I wanted to go with their rather classic and sort of simple option today. Even though I was slightly full from the ice cream before, I could easily finish 4 slices. I probably could have finished the whole pie if I was super hungry, and I would really like to try the spaghettis next time. I'm not sure about the other dish, but at least for the quality of this pizza and the overall Italian rustic vibe, I want to give this place a 4-star. So this concludes day 1 of our San Diego food trip. We are already off to an amazing start from Phil's Barbecue and Fillippi's Pizza Grotto. We have so much more to come. So please stay tuned for my days 2 and 3 from San Diego.